So this video is going to be a man that controls his sexual desires controls the world. And this is where I really understand and learned about addiction. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that as a man, when you grow up as a kid, your first addiction that you're going to go through will be like video games and, you know what I'm saying, social media, but will also be porn as a kid. Like nowadays, it's going to be that. You know what I'm saying? You got old heads from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? They used to tell me about the magazines, or, you know what I'm saying, you'll hear stories about them sneaking into their father's fucking room and getting a fucking magazine or some nut shit because they don't have it. It wasn't easily accessible now. But nowadays, it's easily accessible. The world has been overly sexualized to the point that if you go and try to go on TikTok, if you try to go on social media, as I said in past videos, that you would just see some ass everywhere. Ass is everywhere. You know what I'm saying? The women who show their ass on social media, they get promoted. The ones who show their titties get promoted. You have to understand, this is what's causing you, for one, being a lame. Not controlling your sexual desires will make you a lame because you're simping, you're doing all the ends of the world to get some ass. Some dudes pay for it. Some dudes pay for OnlyFans. Some dudes are really just, you know what I'm saying? Think about porn. You are sitting down, jerking off, and watching a dude fuck another girl that you want to fuck. Like, that makes no sense to me. I'd rather be outside in the field going to do that. And even then, if you know what I'm saying, if you want to get some ass in real life, just go to the clubs. Their thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Feminism is helping us. If you wanted ass in real life, it's you just haven't developed yourself as a man, right? But back to the part where I was saying, you know what I'm saying, about addiction, right? So if a man can control his sexual desires, he can control the world, right? And this is what I mean by that. So if you could control your sexual desires, especially when you were a kid, right? If you think about when you were a kid, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be like your first obstacle that you need to control. And some men haven't controlled it till 35, 40, 50 years old. They still haven't controlled their sexual desires and their sexual urges, right? And this also leads a lot of dudes to go hit up, like, you know, big girls that they would never talk to when they're thinking with their big head, not their little head. When they think with their little head, they'll hit whatever is in sight. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing memes on TikTok talking about he gonna hit a torta. What's a torta? A big bitch. So you see what I'm saying? That's wild, right? So check it. If a man could control his sexual desires, he can control the world. And the first addiction that you will come across is nowadays. This is like the future. You have to understand, this is now in the future and what you grew up in. If you were my age, around 20 years old, your first addiction probably as a kid was video games, right? So video games was the biggest thing for me as well. I played video games since I was a youngin', bro. Like 5 years old, I went through the DS, DSi, DSi XL. All of this, that became addiction. It went from the DSi XL to a PSP, to a PS1, PS2, PS3, Xbox One. And, you know what I'm saying, I was the greatest on Mario Kart. Don't get it twisted. I was the greatest on Mario Bros, 2K, Call of Duty, FIFA. Don't get it twisted. I would drop you off in all of them. Till this day, I'll still do it. I don't even have the game set up. My game is literally unplugged in my cabinet, bro. But that was the first addiction I had to overcome. I remember I was 5 years old. That was the first time I picked up a DS. And, you know what I'm saying, the Wii and all that shit. Y'all remember, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all couldn't see me in that Wii box and none of that shit either. Wii Sports, I'll give you buckets on the Wii Sports. But, you know what I mean? That was the first addiction that you had to overcome as a kid, was playing video games. And that addiction held me for 10 years, bro. Like, I remember being in class and not give a fuck about nothing but going home to play video games. I would be at church not giving a fuck, but doing, like, just thinking about, like, when this shit ends, I'm gonna go home and play some 2K. That's how my mind was racing. I remember being in school just daydreaming about going home and playing the game. That's all I gave a fuck about. And that's the number one addiction for most males, you know what I'm saying, most men, is the video games. It's, you have to overcome this shit, because, you know what I'm saying, that shit held me off from when I was 5 years old all the way till I was 15 years old. You see what I'm saying? A 10-year addiction. But you don't realize it's an addiction. You fuck with it. You like what you're doing. You're playing the game. No, this is normal. This is what everyone else does. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted, though. I was outside in the field playing soccer and basketball for real. Like, that's what I love to do, too. But once I really got into video games, it was the most dopamine rushing type of thing that will fuck up your brain, right? So I had to quit that shit. How I quit that shit, I remember, I think I was getting dropped off on the game. I'll keep it a beat. I was getting dropped off on 2K. And my whole family, you know, when you got a Spanish household, it's nothing but chaos going around. Everybody screaming, everybody fighting, all types of nut shit. So, bro, I was getting dropped off and I couldn't focus. I'm over here hearing screaming from the other room. Someone getting dropped off in real life in the room. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But I'm so tight. And I just threw my headset, just punched my TV in, and I never played the game again from there. I was like, yo, I'm done with this shit. That was the point I realized I was addicted. I swear to God. I was like, yo, I'm never playing this shit again. I'm really addicted to this nut shit. Like, but I realized this when I was 15. Most kids aren't going to realize this. I realized this when I was a youngin'. And most people are still playing the game of being addicted to the video games. You know what I'm saying? They still playing the game all day. And, you know, my age, when they're supposed to have a job or something, doing something what they like, they still playing the game all day as if we was kids. So that's why I thank God for, you know what I'm saying, waking me up, man. Even if it was just I had to sacrifice the TV, bro. I bought that TV. I was like 14, 15, bro. When I had $100, I went and bought a little 24-inch flat screen TV. You know what I'm saying, to play the game on, and I had to sacrifice it, man. I had to punch that bitch in, but it is what it is. I had to overcome the addiction, right? The second addiction now, especially nowadays, is social media. For me, it wasn't so big when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? TikTok was the biggest thing, and now it's the biggest thing now. You see what I'm saying? Instagram is still lit right now. You know what I'm saying? But we had like Vine and Kick, which wasn't so much dopamine receptor type of hitting content, even though it was 7-second videos and brain dead videos, but you know what I'm saying? I wasn't on those as much. You know what I'm saying? Kick was just straight texting or some shit. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't as dopamine rushing as it is on TikTok. You can have 10-minute videos on TikTok. You can have 30-second videos, 1-minute videos, bitch shaking ass. You slide up, bitch shaking ass, bitch throwing ass, bitch showing her titties. You're going to see all types of shit. You see what I'm saying? You're going to be addicted to this shit too as well. You know what I'm saying? You have to detach from that shit as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I even have to work on. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you as if I'm the best preacher in the world and I'm a motherfucking saint. Like, nah, I sometimes do wake up and I'll be on TikTok on some nut shit, you know? But I've realized that's another addiction. But that's an addiction for the kids now. As a kid, your first addiction is going to be overcoming your lust. After all of this nut shit, when the real world hits, it's going to be overcoming your lust. You see what I'm saying? You're going to be overly sexualized. You're going to see TikTok and it's overly sexualized. You try to learn about the gym, you're going to see a girl with a fat ass just shaking it or some shit, some nut shit. It has nothing to do with the content of her being in the gym. She's just in the gym in the mirror just shaking ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the world that we're coming into, and you have to be ready, and you got to see for even your kids. Like, you have to realize this is going to be their first addiction. A man that controls his sexual desires will control the world. Because if he's not focused on that nut shit, he's going to be focused on his goals. He's going to focus on all of the shit that is real in real life. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to be focused on no video games because he's broke in the trenches. He needs some bread. He needs some money. What the fuck I'm playing video games for? What the fuck I'm calling all these hoes for? What the fuck am I watching porn for? What the fuck am I buying an OnlyFans for? What am I paying for box? Like, no. That's nothing I would ever do. You know what I'm saying? Pay for OnlyFans, pay for box and shit. Never. They gotta pay me if anything. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the true first addiction that comes from that a man will actually face. A true addiction that once you really get into it, right? Because even back in the day, you know what I'm saying, as when our dad or our you know what I'm saying, the older generation, I don't know the generation, fucking millennials or some shit, or boomers, both old heads, they were beating off to like magazines or some type of TV show, or maybe some shit maxed out, but they didn't have it at like the access of their hand. That if a kid who's 10 years old grabs his phone, it's not going to be that easily accessed. You see what I'm saying? You know, back in the day, they didn't have that. And, you know what I'm saying, now it's just you're looking on your phone, you're going to stumble across some ass. Like your son, if you have a son right now, they're going to stumble across some ass, and only in the future it's only going to get worse. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to put control over this shit. So that's the true natural desire that comes from a man, that every time when you're a kid, especially when you're going through puberty, you are going to be hit with some crazy ass urges when you were younger. You know what I'm saying? I remember being a kid, being so lustful in school. Bro, I remember I sat behind this bitch with a donkey, bro. I just couldn't stop fantasizing on me, you know what I'm saying? And that's just natural shit that most people won't tell you. That's real shit. I remember being in class just like, yo, getting these wild thoughts of just going crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some wild shit. But you got to realize that You have to control that. But when you're a kid, you don't know no better. You don't know about the bad things about porn. You don't know about NoFap. You do not know about semen retention. You do not know anything. You think this shit is normal. You think, you know what I'm saying? I remember being in the game chats with my homies when I was a kid. 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, shit like that. Talking about like the bad bitches in school, or what type of girls we was watching and shit like that. Like that little kid shit. You don't know no better because everyone around you does this. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first addiction you're going to really have to come across. And I know a lot of men haven't dealt with that yet. A lot of men haven't stopped watching porn. A lot of dudes haven't stopped, you know what I'm saying, fantasizing and thinking just with their dick. They got to think with their big head, not their little head. You got to think about your goals. You got to think about how you going to get this money. And you have to understand, if you watch these videos, it's a small majority of people who would even understand this shit. You know what I'm saying? Every morning you're going to wake up, especially as a kid, with a missile. You got to be able to control your sexual desires. You got to control your sexual lustful thoughts. You have to understand, when you think with your lustful thoughts, you are like a whole different person. I swear to you, it's not you. Most guys will cope and find a way of like making the situation of him hitting up like a big girl not a bad thing. I'm gonna look at you like, yo, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I'm not hitting that. He's like, nah, bro, trust me, like, it's all light, you know what I mean? I just need some bop real quick. Like, no, I don't give a fuck what you need. You're not getting, I'm not respecting none of that. You hitting this big bitch, bro. Go ahead with that shit, bro. So that's why I understand men will go to the end of the earth if they cannot control their desires. They will hit that big girl. They will, you know what I'm saying? They will pay for box. Box is normal. It is natural. It happens between a male and a female that like each other. She will give it to you. What the fuck are you stressing for? You see what I'm saying? So this is what I mean, that a man, you know what I'm saying, that first sexual addiction will be the hardest thing. That's the first little bit of adversity that you will get hit with as a man, that you would understand and think like, yo, I have no answers to this solution. Like, I can't get this out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of dudes in my comments, a lot of dudes that I know talking about like, this is the hardest addiction that they ever went through. This is the, like, you know what I'm saying, they don't know what to do. They keep failing. You have to understand there is another level to you once you overcome this. You just got to keep fighting. Number one, you don't ever quit. Don't ever be a bitch. You don't ever quit if you're endlessly relapsing. It's only going to be a matter of time that you get there. You just got to tighten the fuck up. That's the real answer. But you know what I'm saying? This is the first addiction that the first adversity in addiction. You know what I'm saying? Adversity, meaning when you have nothing to go with in your life, like you have no answers to this and you need to find an answer. This is the first hardest thing that you will have to overcome in order to be a greater man. You know what I'm saying? Because most men who aren't talking about this, most men who aren't, you know what I'm saying, who don't follow the ism, wait for the fucking Patreon, who don't follow this ism, this king mindset, they'll put girls before anything. You have to understand, these people are broke. A lot of them are broke. I don't want to be like them. I'm not going to put a girl before my well-being, what I'm doing in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have certain standards that, bro, if I haven't hit the gym today, I'm not seeing that girl. I'm not going with the family to go cook out, eat. Nah, bro, I got to hit the gym. Then I'll hit you after. Like, yeah, bro. Then we could go, you know what I'm saying, with a shorty. Or then I could, you know what I'm saying, go eat. I have certain principles that come first before a girl. You see what I'm saying? This will separate you. This is the thing that most men are just addicted to, is women. And, you know what I'm saying, overly sexualizing women, and, you know what I'm saying, just porn and all that. This is the first adversity that you will be hit with, that you have to overcome. Because if you look at other addictions, some addictions not being as bad, but you put those addiction on you. This is a natural addiction that you will get, especially when you're a kid growing up in this modern day age. You will watch porn, especially when you're a kid. You will watch porn at like 11 years old. At that young, maybe even younger kids are watching that. You see what I'm saying? So their mind is going to be fried after the years of like watching porn. But then I know every kid will get hit with the NoFap shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll get hit with the No Nut November shit. That's something I remember being in school. I remember hearing people talk about No Nut November, or you wanted this, that. I'm just like, especially when I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck is y'all talking about with that nut shit? Until I learned the information, the knowledge that holds while holding your seed, that you will get while holding your seed, the knowledge, the powers, the masculine man that you will be, the next version of yourself that's getting money, that's accomplishing his goals, hitting the gym, all of that, you know what I'm saying? hitting the gym, all that is level 1 to me. I want to be a millionaire. That's up here to me, but I got to get up there. You see what I'm saying? And what the perfect example is that, you know what I'm saying, this Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill. This book, I bought it strictly for money. This had nothing to do with semen retention. It had nothing to do with no fap or holding your seed. It had nothing to do with it. Then I go into one of the chapters that just says sex transmutation. Basically meaning holding onto your seed and using your sexual energy to go accomplish your goals. And it'll give you an extra push. It'll help you as a man. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of information within that book that's going to help you. And that's the information that I took, and I got it preached because we have been manipulated to fuck as many women as we possibly can. That's something that, as a kid growing up, listening to this music, listen to rap music, fuck bitches, get money. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like you get praised for that, but in all reality, the people who are consistently chasing ass, they don't really get no money. They're not successful in life. You see what I'm saying? So the man who controls his sexual desires will control the world. Once he's able to put away these hoes and put his goals before these hoes, he will win. He will start to get the money that he wants. He will start to, you know what I'm saying, to use the genius-like thoughts that you get from holding onto your seed to his advantage. He will start to win in life. He wants to win more than just fucking and busting a nut and chasing women just like everyone else is. He's over that. That's what a sexual desire, like a sexual disciplined man is. And women respect dudes like that, you know what I'm saying, who's not going to give her the, you know what I'm saying, who's going to, like, you got to realize your dick is a golden rod, but that's for the ism, that's for the Patreon. Your dick is a golden rod, just remember what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, until you go and buy the Patreon. That shit going to be out in like a day or two. I'm almost done with it, but I just had to make this video to understand that the first addiction that your kids will go up with, the first adversities that they really will hit is holding onto their seed. It's going to be hard for them. It's just as hard as it was for you. It's going to be hard for them. It's going to be even way harder. You know what I'm saying? In the future, TikTok's still probably going to be lit. Instagram's still going to be lit. Facebook going to be lit. There's going to be more apps. There's going to be more overly sexualization. I believe I went on X, and I don't even really use Twitter like that. I actually probably go on it once every 3 days. I'm not a Twitter dude or anything like that. If anything, I like use Instagram or TikTok. But Twitter, they allow porn now. You know what I'm saying? So if you go on there, you're going to see porn as well. It's just what's happening. It's going to be a hard addiction for your kids to fight. But that's the first natural born addiction that, and the natural born adversity that you will have to face as a man. That's a fact. Because you will wake up every day with your shit on rock. You'll wake up every day, you know what I'm saying, especially going through puberty and everything like that, bro. You're going to have these lustful thoughts. You have to control them. Because it will only make you a better man. If there's no listen to this. There is no science that says, other than like holding your seed or some shit. They try to say it's some weird ass like scientific shit, whatever the fuck. I don't believe that shit. But it's more so one negative thing compared to like 50 like benefits that you get or whatever with holding your seed. Which one will you do? It's just really hard to do this one thing, but once you achieve it, go 30 days, 60 days, you know what I'm saying, 90 days, you will start to realize like, yo, I understand what you're talking about. The willpower, the endless energy, all of this shit is true. You just have to overcome that addiction. That is why the man who controls his sexual energy or sexual desires will control the world. He's not focused on his hoes no more. He's focused on his goals. He's focused on his money. He's focused on winning. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on winning, hit that subscribe button for real shit, because that's all I do on this channel. That's all I'm going to teach you to do is win. I'm going to give you the information that you need to win. And as I was talking about, I want to be a millionaire, or I will be a millionaire. I read a book on how to make $1 million, or like, you know what I'm saying, how to make money and how to become rich, Think and Grow Rich. And semen retention is basically in one of the chapters, a main focus in the chapter. That's the craziest shit. Like, you wouldn't even understand, but this is something you need to do in order to win. You have to sacrifice women for a short period amount of times. I'm not saying I won't have sex again. I'm not saying I won't bust a nut again. That's cap. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I'm definitely not going to go and watch porn. I'm going to go eat some ass in real life. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole different game that you gotta realize, like, okay, I'm really sacrificing spending time with this girl in order for my goals to win. You see what I'm saying? So this video, I feel like this video is going to hit fucking mad views. I ain't going to lie, because this is some shit. But, you know what I'm saying? The first sexual desires, the first adversity that you will hit is controlling your sexual energy. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And hopefully you come across this information. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I was a kid, No Nut November, I was hearing about it. I was like, yo, that's some nut shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit I don't believe. Then I started watching as I grew older, like years go by, you know what I'm saying, I'm still busting hella nuts to porn and shit, you know what I'm saying, all that nut shit. Then I watched Soluminati. Shout out to my boy Soluminati. He had that spiritual channel, and he started to break down the game that you need in order to win. He started to break down all the benefits, all of this shit, and all of like the spiritual ways to control your sexual energy. And since it was Soluminati, that was my boy. He was the funniest dude on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I listened to him, and I started to realize that shit was true. You see what I'm saying? So I love y'all, bro. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, bro. I'm gonna leave my last video right here for you guys. Fuck. So I'm gonna leave my last video right here for you guys, so that if you missed upon that, go watch that video. And you know what I'm saying, like I said, I got that Patreon coming out real soon. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's a 1 to 2 day type thing. Real shit. I'm almost done. So for the people who stay in tune for that, go fuck with it when it drops. Also, quick shit before I'm gonna let y'all know now, the first 25 people will get it for that price, and then it's going to be basically doubled for the people who are not gonna get it. You see what I'm saying? It's some exclusive information to really help you in life. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm gonna consistently post. So if you want to be a part of it, it's gonna be there for you. And if you guys want a one-on-one consultation, I'm gonna leave it in the description below. So stay yourself, stay 300, whatever you do in life. Trust me, I believe in you, bro.